So for those of you who don't know André, and that may please get over that and meet André. He is I dare say he appears to be a full stack programmer, but he's more than that. He does a lot of consulting about what it means when you're trying to partner up with technical people on projects and how to make that work. And it seems like he does that from anything from just, helping you out with some advice to jumping in and being that person. So when we talked a couple weeks ago, when we first met, one of the things that I really liked about our conversation is you really exposed just a ton of bravery, and you have this time in your life where you actually have the freedom, everything being relative, the pseudo freedom to be a little bit mobile. And you were in New York for a really long time, and it was time for you just to try something else and just go see where the world takes you. So you gave up your lease.
Yes, I did.
And I caught you when you were like a couple boxes away from being done. And that was just such a brave, bold, terrifying thing you were doing. And I just wanted to tell you that there's so many moments in, I think, everybody's life where we look back and we say, we should have taken advantage of that moment to do the whatever, because after that it got much, it gets much harder. And I just wanted to say that I'm so like humbled by your bravery, just to say, now's the time. I can do this, and I'm going to do this. It's like, whoa, that's major. So
yeah, I mean, thanks for saying that. So I mean, I am a person that's very risk averse, and very, once I see things that I think that are going to work for me, I will ride it until forever. And so I tend to not try a whole lot of new things without a lot of experimenting.
Wow.
So, I lived in New York for about 17 years and kind of just was floating around there a bit. And then I was just like, all right, well, I'm in a good space now where I can kind of do whatever. So let's just do whatever and let's go create a story out of it, kind of thing. For me, like I said, I'm very risk averse. So I understand where I could fall, because that's really important to me. And I'm just like, all right, there's not much downside here. The only downside is just a bit of uncomfort, if that's even a word, uncomfort. But
you can make up words here.
I
do it all the time. I do.
Yeah. So yeah, I said, all right, let's go make this happen. I have plenty of support, plenty of friends and family that have my back for the most part for the things that I need, like food and shelter, if it came down to that. So I was like, this is not even a big risk, in my opinion. It's a difference, it's a change, but it's not huge. It's not a big deal. At least that's what I'm thinking about now.
Yeah. Well, you got internet, you got your brain, you got your tools with you. I mean, you travel with your tool set. I mean,
I mean, I've been traveling for a while, so I've had one foot in, one foot out for a while. I've always been like 4 or 5 months on the road and traveling. So, yep. And I've always said that to myself. I'm like, I don't need anything. I don't have to go home tomorrow. And when I'm traveling, right? But I always did. I always went back and whatever. So I was like, yeah, what if I just do it now and I just can't go back to what home was? So, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now.
That's pretty amazing. And you also, did you ditch a bunch of stuff? So you're traveling late, or do you have stuff that could arrive wherever you arrive in the future?
No, so I ditched a lot of stuff. I think my life is probably a few storage bins now, and my 2 backpacks. One which is all my computer work stuff, and the other is like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks worth, no, maybe a week's worth of clothes.
Wow.
that I carry with me, maybe a little bit more. I carry a lot of t-shirts.
I respect that.
Otherwise, I have some winter stuff because, I came from the Northeast, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go back to a place that's wintry, but maybe I will. And I just left that stuff at my father's house. So it's not a whole lot. I mean, had never been really attached to a lot of stuff that I had. I just had some things. I kind of got rid of just about everything that I've kind of owned. Kind of feels good, but I've always felt light like that, to be honest with you,
Yeah, that's cool.
because to me, I was like, yeah, I can kind of get up and walk away, and I wouldn't really look back. So, um, but I guess that's kind of how I position myself a lot of times, anyway.
So what do
Yeah.
you think that's about? I mean, I'm not interviewing you. I'm just like, so what's that about?
Hmm.
Is that just so that you have like, I don't know, the option of mobility, or do you just not have an attachment to stuff?
Yeah.
I'm just
So one of
curious.
my biggest values, I would say, is probably
Mm-hmm.
freedom. Like I just want to be free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of like, yeah, free. What is that, right? And so I've always, whenever I make decisions,
Mm-hmm.
I've always been conscious of that. Okay, so what is this gonna stop me from doing? So that
Mm-hmm.
was one thing, one
Mm-hmm.
reason why I never really purchased the house. I never really wanted to. I was like, why would I do that? I don't want to tie up all my money. I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to be able to think about things. I want to go do something if I want to do it
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. And I want to just be able to pick up and go. So I didn't really want those types of responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I just never, there's nothing that really grabbed me. It was like, oh yeah, I love this thing. I need to do this. I can't. Yeah, it just kind of worked for me. So, I mean, maybe at different points in my life for a
Mm-hmm.
period of time, I was attached to something, but then I got over it. It was like, okay, on to the next thing, on to the next adventure. And that's just always how I've kind of lived. And I don't know, I'll probably live like that for a while, to be honest with you. As long as I'm healthy, as long as my mind works,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good to go. I'm pretty adaptable to a lot of different situations, and I
Mm-hmm.
can probably find the joy in a lot of different things. So, um, yeah, I don't think I'll be attached. I don't think I'm going to get attached too much.
That is totally a gift. Find joy where you are, whatever that means. You
Yeah,
know, I have moments of that all the time. I have moments of that all the time, and it doesn't matter where I am. I just have to pay attention. That's the problem. Is I get pretty consumed with the specific thing that I'm trying to do, and I forget to pay attention. And then I get all out of whack. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I feel so out of whack. And then I realize I'm just not paying attention. And then you slow down and you take a look at like anything, almost anything. It's like there's something to be seen, there's something to be heard, there's something to be experienced. And for me, it's just remembering to do that because my brain's really freaking busy. And it's not
yeah,
busy like producing amazing things. It's just busy. It's just busy. I don't know. It's like moving things from here to there and then moving it back again. I don't know. It's just busy. Um,
yeah.
how
You
the
think
heck
thousands and thousands and thousands of thoughts, and most of them are very similar, for sure.
Some of mine are like, where's the chocolate? Like, what the heck am I doing? What was I just thinking? Why am I in the kitchen? What was that
Oh yeah, I get
noise?
that all the time. I'm like walking around in circles.
Get your steps in. Like,
For
wait,
sure.
what? Middle age. Just wait. This middle age. I don't know what happens. I have this story I probably tell every single time, but I have this theory about middle-aged women and poetry. Like we lose our nouns. We totally lose our nouns. It's a hormonal thing. Then the nouns go. And so you have to describe the thing you're looking for. And if you need help, you have to describe it to somebody else. So you end up being really descriptive in the way that you talk about things because you can't remember the damn name of it. Right. So I think that's why a lot of middle-aged women and maybe men too become poets or musicians. Like middle-aged is a great time to start to, speak in metaphors. You can't remember the name of the fork, like
Yeah, for sure.
the shiny thing that transports food from the plate to the mouth. It has the pointy things on it. Yeah. It's just like, whatever. I'm not
On
a big,
this side of your plate, usually.
yes, exactly. It rests to the left, but it's action.
Is it left, right? Who knows? I have no idea.
To
I
me,
never want to
it's
be around people that have to care about that stuff.
there. One thing, not on the not list, not that.
As
Okay.
long as you cannot take it seriously, I don't mind. As long
Yeah.
as you
Okay.
cannot take, I'll try to play along. But as long as we cannot take it seriously, cool.
Yes. In the grand scheme of what actually matters. See, one of the things is that I think a lot of people, and I'm probably one of those people, when things feel out of control, you kind of control what you can.
Yeah.
And so I think for some people, that kind of physical control, like where the fork goes or whatever, people who adjust things so they're just aligned, stuff like that. I think that's sometimes I think that's just like trying to take some control out of something that feels completely out of control, like life. Like we're just doing we're doing the best we can, but we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, we sort of know where we've been, but we don't know what it means to us. Sometimes we do, but we don't know the whole of it. And I'm doing a lot of, I don't know, dredging the canals. What do they call it when they try and get the gunk out of the bottom of the canal so the boats can fit back through again? There's
Gotcha.
sediment, whatever.
That.
They have those big diggers that come through and they dig the stuff
Mhm.
out. I've been doing some digging, and this is the season of digging for me, which is why I had to reschedule with you. I was doing some digging, or digging happens. I don't know. Stuff comes up and you're like, oh, come on. I didn't want to see this again. I didn't want to deal with this again. Like, come on. I didn't want to deal with this again. But sometimes
Sometimes
it
you gotta
does.
face it. Gotta
Next,
face it and get through it.
or you start to align your forks. Yeah. One or the other.
Yeah, they go this way now. That's where we're going. That's it.
So my people were both away. Like my husband is a summer camp director. Thank God I'm not a summer camp director in the age of COVID, or in fact at all, because I'm an introvert. That would just be like hell for me. But he's doing that,
You're
and
an
that's great.
introvert, really?
Yeah, I have great social skills. Love one-on-one. This is one-on-one. It's you and me. I love this. This is my dreamland. Talking to smart, creative, interesting people. Dreamland. This is my sweet spot.
Gotcha.
Put me in front of a group of people, I like get exhausted. Need to go to sleep for a while. I also am really sensitive to sensory input. What a pain in the ass, but that's a different story. But anyway, so my people and my daughter went away to camp because my husband wanted her to. So I don't remember why I was going to tell you the story. That's why I need to become a poet. But I was here by myself for a while. And
your people went away. You got onto it like that.
Yeah. So my people went away, and I found myself eating out of the same bowl, using the same mug.
It's beautiful.
One fork, no dishes.
Listen, so I'm a bachelor. I've lived alone for a long time. I've had one set of things for a long time. It's such a beautiful thing because if it's not there, you just have to clean one thing and then you can use it again and that's it. You're done. And yes. It's so easy too. Oh my gosh, such a simple life.
See, I'm telling you, it's like the bowl, the spoon, the fork. That's it, and a mug. And I had a mason jar as a backup because sometimes I need 2 mugs if I'm going in for a long work process, a long work block or whatever. So anyway, but that was really interesting because my daughter came home and all of a sudden the sink is full of dishes and there's stuff everywhere. It's like, oh my God, there's stuff everywhere. I'm like, okay,
such a headache.
I'm gonna be okay. But I think I get a little barmy when I'm by myself too long. I was single for quite a while before I met my husband, and I think I got to the point where I was straightening the forks a little too much. And yeah. So
yeah, you need to balance your life out for sure. Without it, I mean, even like during. So, I mean, I've been working remotely for quite a while, and it's great, and it gives me what I want. I get my autonomy. I get to travel and do whatever I want to do. But there is something about like social connection that, I mean, we're social creatures that you need, and when you are working full time or whatever, you have like water cooler conversations, you have your tribe, you have your people that you see more than you see your family.
Yep.
Right. So you have to sort of intentionally recreate that kind of like social aspect to life.
Yep.
Which is one thing that I learned. I was like, okay, I have to do this. There's no, I can't just sit in my house day after day after day and just keep working. I'm just going to go crazy. So there's definitely a need to like get out there and kind of shape yourself a little bit. At least that's for me.
A lot of my chosen family, besides the beautiful husband and daughter situation, a lot of my chosen family is online. That's where I found a lot of the connections that have been really life changing, really meaningful, really tight. We did. I went through infertility before we got Della because I'm a heck of a lot older than I look. And so there was this huge community. This was back before a lot of people were doing online communities as a thing, just like everybody was doing it. But there was a really strong community of people who were going through similar situations, but at different stages and whatever. And we really supported each other. And some of those people are to this day, some of my closest friends. Like, I've never met them in real life, never met them in real life, never seen them in real life, live in different countries now with COVID, whatever. And also, the all-encompassing thing that can be parenting. But it's interesting that, a lot of my connections right now, like I found LinkedIn. I'm like, oh my God, my people are on LinkedIn. I did not know that. Because I thought that I was too artsy. I thought I was too wacky. I thought I was too Kate, with my wild energy. And it turns out that, heck no, there are some really wonderful, wildly creative, really smart people doing a ton of stuff on LinkedIn, and I'm having a blast. Like, finding you, I don't even know how I found you. I literally have no idea how that happened. I don't know if like the algorithm said you should know this guy or what. But one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I know this isn't like a interview thing because I don't want to do interviews, but I do like meeting people. How did you get into tech? Like, how'd you get into this? Because it's not that when you talk about it, you light up, you talk about it so easily, you're incredibly articulate about it, but what got you into this? Like,
yeah, so I wouldn't say it's a typical story. I've been doing this all my life, but I've kind of been into computers kind of for a while, but I was into video games. That's what I was into. I was into video games, and on my PC or desktop, whatever was given to me at the time, and all I did was play video games. And this was.
Did you have a favorite? That you're willing to admit to?
It was some sort of football game, some sort of sports game, I'm sure. Cool. And my uncle was into computers, so he was the one that kind of ushered me into it. And then my computer would break, and I'm like, all right, I can't keep waiting for him and calling him and trying to fix this or figure this out. I couldn't tell you. Like, a lot of people say, hey, I use this computer and that. I have no clue. All I know is I had a video game. I want to play that video game. So I was going to do what I had to do to get that thing to work. And I kind of got good at it, I guess.
Yeah, apparently.
When I was a little bit younger, probably a late teen, 16, 17 years old or something like that. Then I had an opportunity to do an internship, which I didn't, and then I didn't have to go to my second half of my senior year in high school. And the internship was just like, I don't know, working at a help desk somewhere at a hospital. And I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, I'm not going to go to school. All I have to do is write a paper. So that's what I did. And from there, I just kind of got more interested, and I kind of got jobs, and I was like, oh, I can actually get paid, and I can get paid pretty decently. At the time, I think I was making like $8 an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, minimum wage at the time was probably like $4.
Yeah, I know, you're like, doing really well.
This works. So, and so I kind of just kept going down that path, and it was there. So I guess I was kind of lucky to be presented with that opportunity. And then I just kind of took it and ran with it at the time. So I'm still here now.
I just think it's really cool what you're doing also with the connecting people with people, and also just giving people a lot of information about what to look out for, what to look for, the matchmaking, the idea of, this is a marriage, don't, date. I love, you have a video that was just so fantastic. It was like, don't just jump in because the person's got the right skills, doesn't mean it's the right person. I think it just, that advice is like some advice that everyone should take in all of the ways that they do everything with everyone if they have more than one option.
Yeah. So I would say, Kate, like in any service, I mean, this is just what it is, right? Yeah. And for me, I worked with a lot of like people that were very early stage. And, there's so many options to get technical help. It's easy to do. You just Google it. I'm sure there'll be a ton of people that come up and you can just go start working with them. But, over and over, I just started seeing, I'm like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. and he's getting ready to quit his job. Okay, this marriage is going to this is going to be a terrible thing. In about a year, he's going to start yelling. There's going to be lawsuits. Like, it was really predictable. And so I was like, okay. And I started to get to work with a lot more with these people, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working through it. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to try to focus on. So that's kind of what I was like, okay, well, I'm going to work with people that are like non-technical and that are just trying to launch a software project and just try to bring some of the knowledge or the experience that I've had. It's not even technical experience. It's like, I understand where you're going to fall here. I can tell you before you even get there. So it's just trying to navigate around that way. And yes, I implement and do stuff? Sure, I can, but like a lot of people can, right? So yeah, that's kind of how I sort of developed that voice. And it took me a while to really understand that. I had to get other people, I'm talking to like business coaches and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm good at that. I can do that. And so I was like, that's what I'm going to do now. I mean, because I struggled for a while, to be honest with you, because I knew that I didn't want to stay corporate or do the regular 9-to-5 thing. And not just because of the 9-to-5 thing. It was more probably because of the people aspect, probably because of the leadership, probably because I didn't understand where my career could go. And I didn't know if I had anybody that could guide me in that direction. So I kind of understood that I want to do this, and I struggled for a while to figure out how to do it. And with software, it's kind of commoditized at this point. And so trying to like swim with everybody else, I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. I'm not going to be better than all these people. Technically, I'm just not, because I'm not that interested, right, in technology for the sake of technology. So like, and it changes so fast. And as I get older, I'm like, I just don't have the time to learn all this stuff. I got to learn and learn and learn. Like that's the top skill from someone that's a programmer or developer or whatever.
I took Fortran. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
that was in the way
was just a few years ago, probably. Yeah.
I know what it is. It's an up and coming language, and you should take it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, I was like, yeah, no, this is like rough. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to continue to do that. And it was enjoyable for a while. It was very enjoyable.
How do people find you? Like, now you have such an incredibly unusual skill set. You do. I'm sorry. I know, because I am one. I'm in tech. I have an engineering degree. I'm also an artist. I'm a people person. That is not a common combination. It's just not. There are people. It's not that it's not possible, but there's not a lot of people who are drawing from both sides of their experience for work. You are doing that. How do people find you? I mean, it's a very unusual thing that you offer. You have that insight. You have that gut instinct. You can see that, there's a train wreck coming, where I bet you that if you put 50 people in a room who had similar technical backgrounds as you do, whatever the hell that is, they would not see the train wreck coming, because they don't have that other part. That other part of whatever it is, it's André, that is like totally in tune with the relationship piece, the people piece, the this is gonna suck. So how do people find you? Because you're unique.
Well, so I think everybody brings their unique skill set to the table, right?
Yeah, true.
And so for me, it was just recognizing it, and then I'm like, okay, I need to lean in on this, because I know that this works. And it's just like, okay, well, I need, as a soloist, right, I need to build trust with people so that they can trust me, because these things are probably expensive projects that they're working on. Not probably, they are expensive projects that they're working on.
Sometimes it's the dream too. It's like,
dream,
dealing with people's dream.
Exactly. And that's part of the problem too. But yeah. So just trying to be out, just trying to be talking, trying to network with as many people as possible, and seeing who I can see, honestly. And this never came natural to me, like networking, even LinkedIn. LinkedIn to me, like a year and a half ago, was just like, why would I ever use that? It was just like a resume thing where recruiters would hit me up every once in a bit, and I would just kind of ignore them anyway. But LinkedIn has turned into like, oh, okay, well, I can talk to people here. I can do a lot of networking, and I can find some people that are interested in what I'm doing here. Okay, let me get better at this and understand that. but it's definitely a great place to be. So that's kind of where I am a lot.
Well, I'm glad, and I hope you keep on putting out your video tidbits, because first of all, it shows you, which I think is a really important part of what you're offering, is you. I mean, it's
Yes.
not just your technical skills, it's not just your ability to read people or whatever, it's you, and you need to have good chemistry in order to make it work. I'm also a soloist. You called yourself a soloist. I thought that was really cool. I'm a consultant also, so I get it. And the build trust and get to know who I actually am piece is really important, because this energy, as I said, does not work for everybody, and I don't want to work for people for whom I'm the wrong person anymore. I don't. I
Right.
want to work for people who are like, oh, thank goodness, we found the right person for this moment, and and I want to be of value, and I want to add value, and I want to feel myself valued, and I love using my brain in certain ways, and I want to find more of that, more of those places where I can do that. And I'm sure that when you find the right fits, it has that same feeling. Like, even if it's a short journey with somebody for a little bit, you have that feeling of like, oh, I love this, more of this, please. Like, more of this, please.
Yeah. I've had people say to me, well, I've had this one individual, his wife came on and goes, I think he likes you more than he likes me.
Well, it's a simpler relationship, I gotta say.
Yeah, but I would say one thing that I didn't understand
Yeah.
and was and was brought up. I don't know if I heard it on a podcast or where I heard this. Um, why would you should only work with people that you would like go out and have a beer with or something that you would want to. And I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like there's enough out
Yeah.
there. If I can enjoy having a conversation with you, we can work together, no problem. And it probably won't feel
Mm-hmm.
like work.
Yep.
So I definitely think about things like that instead of thinking about, okay, oh, this is an opportunity here. And because, I have a software background, I can do a lot of different things and I can work with a lot of different people. But understanding what that engagement is going to look like and what the personalities are going to look like are important. I mean, I'm still working it out and figuring it out, to be honest with you. But in order for me to be able to run a business, I'm going to have to work with, there's certain things I'm not going to have to think. I don't want to have to think about. Like, I don't want to have to think about getting sued. Right.
Yep.
And because a lot of times these bigger projects, that's what happens,
Mm-hmm.
especially after they spend so much money
Yep.
and whatever, no matter whose fault it is. And
Yep.
I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to have to worry about that, because then I would probably just refund your money and just walk another direction.
Yep.
And I don't want to have to do that either.
Yeah. I hear you.
So, so yeah. So I mean, a lot of it is learning about business. And I just did a lot of reading, and I was like, okay, well, this is how it should work. Hired some people, work with different people, trying to get accountability groups, just trying to move the ball forward.
The perpetual becoming is a gift we can give ourselves, not to get locked into something that constrains us beyond our growth potential. I mean, I really believe that, because every single experience that we have changes who we are.
Yep.
Maybe a little, maybe a ton, maybe forevermore, So
Yeah, I mean, I would say, it's your, product of your environment, right? So, we go through this educational system that kind of just teaches us to be order takers. Like that's just what it does. It doesn't teach us
mhm,
to be entrepreneurs or creators for ourselves,
mhm,
right? We go through this kind of safe path. We get educated, we go to university, and hopefully we get a job somewhere and you build up to middle management, whatever you do. And so, kind of like stepping out on your own and doing something that's a little bit different is like, how do you even do it? Like,
yeah,
if you don't have the path or the kind of pedigree or family or whatever that kind of supports that thing, how do you do it? Now it's different, right? We have the internet. There's so many resources
mhm,
that you can kind of just grab onto and just kind of follow, and it'll just drag you forward, which makes it a lot easier. But traditionally, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to education. I'm going to school. I'm going to get a big debt, and then I'm going to get a job
Then I'm going to be
doing like
panicked and I'm
order
going to get
entry.
a job at a place I don't like so I can pay it back.
Right, right. That's not really, maybe not invested in me
Yeah.
as much as getting this particular thing done, or getting my score, or elevating my core skill set, which is great, but you're just going to be able to do that one thing, right? And how much value is that really going to be able, are you really going to be able to offer with just that? So, I mean, but it works for some people. It works
Yep.
for some people because, being solo entrepreneur, it's not easy. It's not
No.
easy at all. Um, but yeah, for me, I was just like, I don't know. I mean, you know what? To be honest with you, I may work a corporate job at some point. I may, because there may be something I enjoy. And like you said, I don't want to be locked in to saying, okay, this is always what I'm going to do. This is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years from now, I might do something different
Yep.
because I'm just interested in something different, and that's it. And being able to have that freedom and flexibility to make that decision for me is hugely important.
It's
To not
awesome.
so and I think what you said earlier, you always, when you learn, you always know that you need to learn more. And it's
Yeah.
so true, right? You're like, oh man, there's so much more that I can, like, I have a book list, and then I read a book. I'm like, all right, now I got 10 more books I got to read.
Yeah. It's my favorite kind of
So
problem.
what's that?
That's my favorite kind of problem.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's very interesting, right? And
Mhm.
it's really interesting, like these days, working with people that have already done what you're trying to do, or
Yep.
that kind of like, been down this path already. You can still build your own path, but hey, this is kind of what it looks like, but you have
Mhm.
to figure out your own way,
Mhm.
right? And that's and with the internet now, and being able to access these master classes and online courses and business coaches and whatever, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's just like, all right,
It
just
is.
lean into it. I mean, it's not that easy,
No, I'd
but
like money to fall from the sky and not land on me, but land nearby and not do any damage. And then let me use it for these classes, please. That would be lovely.
yeah.
Yeah, no, but there are some, there are some amazing people who have bits of the puzzle, right, that we can draw on. And it's not necessarily our journey, it's not necessarily our path, but it can help us avoid some of those obstacles, and they can give us some best practices so we can just jump over those mistakes and make our own. I think that's really important. But
Yeah.
one of the most important things is to remember that there's never been an Andre Barnes. There's never been an Andre Barnes. You are it, and you are, and you are in a process of becoming, and you always have been, and you always will be. And I'm a Kate Johnson, and there's been like 8 billion Kate Johnsons because I have the most common name in the world. But there's never been this Kate Johnson, and I am in the process of becoming, and always will be. And so I think one of the things that is really fun to find is like kindreds, where we might be in different points in our life, where we have different levels of freedom, where we have different, I don't know, levels of responsibility for others or whatever. But the point is that there's, I think we share a heart space in that sense of both freedom, curiosity, connection. Where can this take me? Where can I go with this that feels like great fit, love? And when it isn't, what can I learn from that so I don't do that again?
Hmm.
And just take what we learn and move forward instead of taking what we learn and have it keep us from moving. Just keep keep moving towards what feels great. So when I work with clients, I talk about that in terms of like navigating by feel. How does it feel? Does your body feel open and happy as you do this stuff? Or when you think about it, do you think, oh my God, does your body just go, like, oh my God? It's like, okay, so we aim towards the open and the light, just like, yeah, that sounds really fun. And your body goes, oh yeah, that sounds really fun. And then you can be scared, you can be terrified and still have it be the right thing to do. You
Yeah,
can.
now I was gonna say that. Like, sometimes when you have this reaction, sometimes that's the way to go. And
Yeah,
that's the way
okay.
that
You
you
have
have
called me
to
out
go.
in a good way. Yes, you have. So yesterday, there's this thing called Pitch Club. I'm going to talk to you about it after we hang up.
Okay.
But there's this guy, Martin Barnes. I'm going to call him out. Martin Barnes. He's also a Barnes. You guys might be related. I do not know. He's in the UK right now, but he created this thing called Pitch Club, and it sounds like we go and it's bloodthirsty, but we're allowed to talk about it. You know, first rule of Pitch Club is we need to pitch Club. But what they do is they have this really, he has created this incredible community of people, and you get, if you sign up, you get 3 minutes to pitch. And by pitching, it doesn't have to be a business. It doesn't have to be a whatever. It's just practice communicating to people about something in a compelling way. I think I'm just going to say it that way. Well, yesterday, somebody didn't show and there was a space. So what do?
Sign up.
I signed up. Okay. My heart was beating so fast that I used up.
I always want to be in the room with you, Kate, because I think you're always going to be like, oh, yeah, I can do that. I'll go. I'm like, good. They didn't pick me.
You come sit next to me anytime, Andre. It's right here. I have a second chair. You just come sit right next to me. You need a place to go. I'm in New Hampshire. You just come sit right here. I've got internet. You have just running water. You just come be with me. That would be great. I can't think of much more fun. We wouldn't get much work done, but it'd be really, really, really fun. No, I did this thing and it was terrifying. And I used up like half of my life's worth of heartbeats. I swear to God, like my heart was beating so fast. And, but I did it and it was terrifying. It was terrifying. And I did it. And I'm proud of myself because I did it and it was terrifying. And I did it and it's terrifying. I did it. But you're right.
And now, how is it now? So this is what I think about that, right? Yeah. And this is one of the things I learned. It's just, you know, just look at it as practice for the next time. I'm just practicing now. That's all it is. I messed up. So what? Who cares? This is practice.
It's practice.
Keep going. Move to the next time.
Okay, so my response is much more elemental. It's like, oh my
God, I didn't die. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Someday. Maybe not. I may not be actually okay ever, but I'm okay with that. It all depends on how you want to measure it. So before we wrap up the recorded portion of this, do you have anything else that's like bugging you that you'd like to say before we drop out of this part?
I don't think it's really bugging me, but I appreciate, I'm really glad that we met, and I love your energy. Even from your messages, I'm like, why is she so excited now? But it always brings a smile to my face. So I want to say I appreciate you and definitely appreciate our developing relationship for sure.
I think you're terrific. And whenever you show up on my LinkedIn feed, it brightens my day. And what's so cool about that is that you're somewhere else, man. You don't even know it's happening and you're making my day better. You know, I just want to let you know that.
I wish I would know what everybody's thinking.
No, you wouldn't, because then
or maybe I don't want to know.
I was gonna say, then there'd be no room for your own, but know that you are appreciated by me, because it's true. And also I love the way you communicate, and I can't wait to see what you do more, you know, because you're going to be doing more, and I can't wait to see what that looks like. But
I feel in a pretty good space. So yeah, I definitely think things are going to happen. I don't know what, but I definitely think things are going to happen.
I think that's great. Okay. Well, everybody, this is Andre Barnes. I'm going to put his contact information in the little blurby thing that goes out with this, and we're going to stop recording, but hopefully Andre will hang tight so we can talk for another few minutes. But thank you so much.
And thank you. See you all.
So freaking awesome. Okay. You make me very happy. All right. I have to stop my recording now.